Hello, everyone out there in Rumble X and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. Of course, I'm Diego, and today we're going to talk some more about the last episode of the entire series, okay? The entire IP of Sex and the City. The absolute last episode of And Just Like Crap. And what a crap it is. Even the creators of the show know how much crap it is. Okay, the people that wrote this episode, the people that starred in it, okay, they know how much crap this is, all right? HBO, who funded this turd, knows exactly what this is. Okay, the truth has finally come out. A lot of truths are coming out this year, aren't they? Aren't they? All the stuff that you assumed was the way people were because that's what you kept getting told over and over again. Turns out it didn't hold up to scrutiny, did it? A lot of the stuff that you thought was, legitimate stuff, turns out it wasn't. Okay, a lot of things that you thought were popular in modern culture turned out to not be so popular after all. Okay, you just went along with it because you were told to go along with it. Okay, all the right people were telling you to go along with it, and so you did. Okay, but now the bill is due. The waiter just dropped off the check, and now you're actually looking at everything that was ordered. Oh, what the hell? I didn't know it was going to be this much of it. You see what I mean? That's exactly what's happening right now in Hollywood. Okay, they ran out of money. All that DEI money's gone, okay? The BlackRock money, Larry Fink and BlackRock, they told everybody, hey, if you want money from us, then you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to hire this many people who are this many gays, this many blacks, this many women, this many, okay? As long as it wasn't a straight white guy, okay? And so they did that so they could get, the money. They could get the money to keep funding their businesses. And, of course, everything they built with that. When you hire based on an identity rather than based on merit, you're going to get crap. You're going to get stuff like this, like just like crap. That's what you're going to get. Okay? This show was not created for the fans of Sex and the City. Not at all. It was created for an identity. Okay? It was created to check a checkbox. Okay? That's what it was created for. Okay? They knew that they had the IP, Sex and the City IP. They knew that. And they knew that if they were to bring that back, people were going to watch it out of curiosity, if nothing else. Okay? So I said, okay, people are going to watch this crap anyway. So all we got to do is get the actresses back, okay, which they did, except with the exception of Kim Cattrall, who wants nothing to do with it. And I don't blame her. They treated her bad. Okay, so most of the actresses came back. Most of the characters came back. So like, okay, fine. Okay, we got 3 out of 4. People are going to watch this. They're going to love it no matter what. So let's write the woke ideology that we want. It doesn't matter because Carrie's going to be there and Miranda's going to be there and Charlotte's going to be there. Okay? So women are going to watch it. Gay guys are going to watch it. So what the hell? It doesn't have to be good. Okay? So they hired all these woke retards with very little writing experience, just graduated from their Ivy League schools in wokeology, and that's what they gave us. Because that's where all the money was being spent on woke crap. Okay, well, all that stuff has come out now, and, well, it's crap. Okay, people don't want to eat crap. That's the truth. People don't want to be lectured to. They want to be entertained. They don't want to be lectured. Okay, when I was growing up in the 80s, okay, there were special episodes, like very popular shows like Family Ties or Different Strokes or something like that, okay, would have a special episode, usually during sweeps weeks when they're trying to get all the ratings together, okay? And on that episode, that's when they were preaching to you. I remember there was an episode of Mr. Belvedere where the little kid on the show, he goes to school, he becomes friends with another little kid that nobody will talk to him or play with him. Well, it turns out that little kid had AIDS, which was a death sentence back in the 80s, okay? That was like a very special episode. Okay, they were definitely trying to preach something there, okay? The point is they didn't do it every single week. Every single episode was not a very special episode, okay? They weren't there to lecture you about LGBTQ rights or pronouns or Black Lives Matter or historical black lesbian boss bitches from history. They weren't there to teach you any of that stuff, okay? They weren't there to push any of that stuff, okay? They only did it once every year. They would do a special episode. Like I remember the one where Alex from Family Ties, where Tom Hanks played his drunk uncle and he fucking clocked him across the living room. Tom Hanks did that. Where I remember that. And of course the infamous Different Strokes episode where Arnold's friend Dudley got SM'd by by a PDF file, if you know what I mean. Okay, I remember that episode. That was a very special episode. Okay, but there was those episodes where they were trying to teach you something about society, trying to raise awareness, trying to elevate your social conscience. Okay, but it wasn't every episode. Okay, where today with the DEI woke crap, every episode is a lecture, is a gender studies course. Okay, every single episode. All right, and it's like we're tired of that. We don't want that. Okay, that's the elective that most people didn't take in college. Okay, because when you go in there, what do you see in there? You see a bunch of fat, unattractive lesbians. Okay, and I'm sorry, guys aren't attracted to that. Okay, I'm not attracted to that. I'm not. You get the blue hair and the pink hair and the nose rings, okay, and the tattoos all over the place. You look like a goddamn clown. Like you belong in a damn horror show. Like a sideshow freak. You don't look like a person. What do you think? You think I'm just going to hire you looking like that? Like, what the fuck? But they do. They do. The neck tattoos, the chest tattoos. This is gross and disgusting. What the hell? And they're not even in shape. They're not even cute on top of all that. They're like fucking 400 pounds. Nobody wants people like that writing their sitcoms. Okay, what do you think they're going to talk? They're going to talk about what they know. They're going to write about what they know. Like Samantha Irby, look, a fat ass, lesbo, disgusting, non-binary piece of shit, Samantha Irby. What does she know? She knows about hating white people and hating straight white girls. She knows about having your period in public. Okay, she knows about pissing yourself in bed. Okay, she knows about throwing up on dates. Okay, that's what she knows about. So that's what she wrote about. That's what she put in the show. What she knows. You see what I mean? So something as far-fetched as the shitter blowing up is not out of her realm of experience. That's right up her wheelhouse. You see what I mean? Okay, that's why we get stuff like that. Okay, that's why we get scenes of Miranda taking a shit. That's why, because Samantha Irby writes what she knows, and that's what she knows. You see what I mean? But she doesn't realize that the average person doesn't want to see that. This is what happens when you hire someone based on your identity instead of on merit. You need somebody. They should have gotten somebody that actually loved Sex and the City, that loved it, that was very familiar with the characters, knew exactly who they were, and had a bold new direction to take these women. Okay, someplace that if it gets cut off, if people don't like it or something, if it got cut off after one season or two seasons, then at least the series finale, the season finale would be enough to cover all the bases. Okay, to end everything. All right, with no open plot holes. Okay, a great writer can do that. But they didn't hire a great writer. They hired Michael Patrick Queen, who is basically Sarah Jessica Parker's bitch. Okay, he'll just do whatever the hell she says. He will suck her cock forever in order to keep working. Okay, because the jobs are scarce in Hollywood right now. And someone like Michael Patrick Queen, he will bend over for anybody, man and woman, to continue to work in Hollywood. Okay, because those HIV medication, they don't pay for themselves. All right. Anyway, so that's what's going on here. Okay, within Just Like Crap. That's why we're getting the quality that we got, if you want to call it quality. All right. All right. Let's get into the episode here. I'm Diego. I give you a straight man's point of view real quickly here before I forget. This here. Okay. Diego knows and knows Diego. That right there. That's my X, where I post all these videos on X as well. Right there. And this right here, Diego de la Vega knows. That is my Rumble, okay? Because everything I post here, I posted on Rumble too. Why? Because Rumble doesn't discriminate if you're not a libtard, okay? They will post your video. Even if you're not a libtard, they'll do it. Whereas Google, not so much, all right? Because where do you think Google is, okay? They're in Silicon Valley. And where's Silicon Valley? San Francisco. And where's San Francisco? You see what I mean? Okay, so let's get that out of the way here. I haven't said this in a while, but I'm going to tell you right now, okay? My name is Diego, and I give you a straight man's point of view, whether you like it or not. Okay, some of the things I'm going to say are going to offend you, so if you're easily offended, okay, if you're easily triggered, if you're a snowflake, then get the fuck out of here right now. I will not censor myself to spare your little feelings, okay? I'm going to give you a straight up dose of truth, babe, with no lube. There ain't no lube here. Don't even look for it. Don't even look for it. I ain't got any. Because I'm going to give it to you the way you like it. I got nothing to gain by lying to you, okay? I got nothing to gain by it. The real question you got to ask yourself is, can you handle it? Can you handle the truth? Because I know goddamn well you cannot. You cannot. You won't even be able to make it through this whole episode, okay? Because you're going to start crying. Where's my tampon? He hurt my feelings. How can I be a boss bitch when he's being so rude and misogynistic? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we all know it's true. All right. Let me tell you something, okay? For those of you that are offended by what I say, okay, the bottom line is we've been listening to your lesbo feminist crap for the past 40, 50 years, okay? And the men from back then, they just wanted to keep the peace. That's why they let you get away with it. That's why they kept capitulating to you, because every guy was afraid of being labeled a misogynist or something like that. And so they just let you do whatever the fuck you wanted. Well, guess what? The internet got invented, okay? And we're not going to be silenced, okay? I'm not telling you to take away your platform, but you sure as fuck aren't going to take away ours either, okay? Men have risen up now, okay? We're tired of being bossed around by a bunch of fucking lesbo bitches that fucking hate men. It's about goddamn time, okay, the men started speaking about what they find important, what they want to see in movies and popular culture, okay? It ain't all just about you, ladies, because guess what? The housewife is gone. There are no housewives anymore, so you don't have to cater commercials and TV shows to women anymore, okay? You got to cater to the people that spend the money. And since there's mostly single guys out there, guess what? They're going to spend their money on what they want. Hence, they got to see what they want on TV. Or they're not going to spend their money. You're going to miss out on that market. Okay? And any company that ostracizes a huge market, a huge demographic, is not going to be profitable. Do you understand? All right. Let's get to it. It's one thing to have a woke piece of shit show like this for women. I get it, it's for women and gay guys. Okay? But this shit that's on this show is the same shit. They're putting that shit in Transformers. They're putting that shit in G.I. Joe and fucking Star Wars and fucking Marvel movies. Why do you think they're all going bankrupt? Why do you think nobody's watching Marvel movies? Huh? Superman went straight to fucking streaming like in 1 month. Okay, Fantastic Four fucking didn't even make $500 million. All the fucking Marvel movies flopped at the box office. Thunderbolts, the Black Captain America. Nobody watched that shit. They lost money. You know why? Because shit like and Just Like Crap, they were put into stuff that wasn't made for them. That was made for guys like me. And we don't want to watch that shit. So we don't spend our money on it. And from what I can tell, the women that watch Sex and the City don't want to watch this shit either. They don't want to watch it Just Like Crap, okay? Because you've ruined the characters. You've assassinated them, okay? You've tried to flip the script, okay? You tried to alter reality. We're ending up alone by yourself in your 60s with no kids, no spouse, no grandkids, no nothing. That's a good thing. No, it's not. Okay, you want to grow old with somebody. Okay, you want to grow old with somebody who's been through the experiences that you've been through, who knew you back in the day, who's seen you grow and come into your own, so that you don't have to do everything by yourself. We're not built to do everything by ourselves. Being alone is not a good thing. Human beings, we didn't take over this planet by being alone. You see what I mean? We got to have a reason to keep going. We got to have a reason to keep going. You know, whether it's your spouse or your children or your grandchildren or whatever, okay? If your sole reason of existence is just to fucking shop and go to nice restaurants, okay, then that's not much of a life. It's a waste of a life. It's a waste of a life. If Carrie had done anything, if Carrie had maybe mentored Lisette, you know, and maybe guided her through life, helped her out, because she's got some horrible dating stories as well. Okay, she could have mentored her. She could have taught her. You know, hey, listen, when I went through something similar, this is what I did, and it was a mistake. So don't, you know, she could have done that. That would have been it would have been a passing of the torch. Okay, but Sarah Jessica Parker is too selfish to let anyone else get the spotlight on them. Okay, it's always got to be about her. She can't even organically mentor a young woman who's going through what Carrie went through. She can't even do that. No, because it's still got to be about her. You see what I mean? Okay, and that's just bad storytelling. That's terrible storytelling. Okay? Carrie has nothing to live for. Okay? There's nothing in her life worth dying for. You see what I mean? There's nothing in her life worth dying for. And if there's nothing in your life worth dying for, then there's nothing in your life worth living for. You see what I mean? All right. Now, here we go. So Lisa, okay, the last scene that we were at, okay, you know, what do you call it? She was, sorry, Sarah Jessica Parker was talking to, I believe she was talking to Charlotte, okay, about how she feels like, you know, she has to stop thinking that she needs a man to complete herself. This is after the bridal show they went to. It's just her and Charlotte are talking, they're walking and talking on the sidewalk, you know, and she's feeling sorry for herself. Of course she is. You know, she's like, she has to stop thinking that she needs a man and accept that she just needs herself to be happy, you know, and she's like, I need to accept it. You know, and it's not a tragedy. Well, yes, it is a tragedy. Okay, this is just cope. Okay, that they wrote for all the old single Sex and the City fans out there. That's why they wrote this scene. Okay, so that you can feel better about yourself. For all you women that followed, okay, the blueprint that was Sex and the City, just do what they did. Okay, fuck all these guys in your 30s. Okay, maybe get in a couple relationships, but dump all of them because none of them are ever going to be good enough for you. And now you end up in your 60s. You have no fucking kids. Okay, you have no spouse, no grandchildren, no nothing. Okay, and that's a good thing. Okay, so just cope with the fact that no man's ever going to really take you seriously. Okay, because the only men that are going to date you are men that are low value, and you're never going to date a guy that's low value. You'd rather die alone than date a man who's low value. So that's it. You know why? Because you don't realize that you're low value. See what I mean? None of these women are low value. Women are beautiful at any size or any age, right? Right? Okay? And ladies, if you believe that crap, I know that's what this show teaches you, but if you believe that crap, okay, I got a bridge I want to fucking sell you. Okay? I can retire off of your gullibility. All right, moving right along. Okay, so Lisa comes home, okay, and she finds Herbert moping around in bed. Okay, she takes him by the hand and says her wedding vows to him. Okay, because she felt sorry for him. Now, earlier at the bridal show, she told Charlotte that marriage is not what she thought it would be. It ended up just her married to an insecure man, that she always has to like reassure him, boost his self-esteem, deal with his problems. You know, it's always about him. It's never about her. It's never been about her. It's always about his insecurities, okay, his shortcomings. You know, she has to nurture him and make him feel pretty and all that kind of crap. That's what she says that her marriage to this guy has been like. Okay, despite the fact that in the past 3-4 years we've seen fucking Lisa go off on him, okay, like a fucking cunt from hell, okay, emasculating him, ridiculing him, yelling at her kids, okay, having spastic anxiety attacks, lying to him, all sorts of fucking shit that she has put this man through, okay, but she doesn't acknowledge any of that. Okay, she leaves all that out. She says it's always about him, which is total fucking bullshit. Everything about this show is about Lisa. Her character on the show gets everything that she fucking wants. The only thing she didn't get is she didn't get to fuck Marion. Okay? Right? And the only reason that didn't happen was because they just got the memo that the show got canceled for good. Okay, so they couldn't go there. That means that they introduced Mehcad Brooks to play Marion for no reason at all. Okay? He was on a contract to be in this episode. That's the only reason he's there. Okay? And he provided nothing to this show at all. Nothing. Okay, so what the fuck was even there? You introduce all these characters, like cool characters, like Cherry O'Terry was in an episode, and I haven't seen her since Saturday Night Live, and she was in one episode, that was it, and we never saw her again. What the fuck? That's Cherry O'Terry there. You've got these incredible actors showing up. Do something with them. Do something with them. They did nothing. Nothing. They just show up and they leave. Just like Duncan Reeves. All right, so that's going on here. Okay, she just never bows to him. She says, I, Lisa, take you, Herbert, okay, in Tom Ford suits or sweatsuits until death do us part. And he looks at me and he's like, I'll get over this, baby. I'll get over it. Because he's crying about losing the election. And she's like, no, we'll get over this. Okay, and then they stand up together and they hug each other. And Herbert says, like, yes, we will, sweetheart. Too bad I'm married to such a bitch. And that's it. That's the end of that story. That's it for Herbert and Lisa. No more. He's upset. He's like, thinking about 86 in himself, if you know what I mean, because he lost his election. He let everybody down, especially all the people that contributed to his campaign. You know, he's all feeling bad about that. He didn't even want to become comptroller. His wife last season pushed him into it. Okay, he said he wanted to wait until she was done with her documentary. Okay, but she pushed him into doing it now. You know, well, he lost. Now he's upset about it. You know, and he's all, you know, instead of her actually supporting him, you know, she's upset that he's still upset about it. She's like, get over it. Get over the hell. You know, like that. Like he was crying about how he's gaining weight. Okay, because he's a fat ass. Oh my God, why you got cheese here? Don't you realize the cheese got put on pounds? And I can't afford it. I've gained 1 pound on the scale. But like little bitch that he is. And what does his wife says? His wife says, like, just do what everyone else do. Ozempic. And then she walks away. Like, what the fuck? I told you, Ozempic. You know, so this show's a commercial for Ozempic. I mean, what the... Anyway, yeah, so that's going on here. Okay, and that's the end of their story. Both of them end up where they started. No character progression at all. Moving right along. Adam, remember Adam? That's the gardener guy, okay? He's still working on Carrie's garden. He's been working on it for, 5 years now? Whatever. Okay, and she brings him an empty coffee cup. It's Thanksgiving Day, and there he is working on Thanksgiving in the garden. Why? Because he's a libtard hippie. That's why. He only eats organic food. He does not eat meat. He does not use anything that has processed chemicals in it. He does anything that experiment on animals or test on animals. Nothing. He doesn't even use deodorant. He uses a fucking crystal, you know. I mean, you know, but he smokes cigarettes too. So yeah, that makes sense. And he drinks. He likes to get fucked up. Okay, anyways, he's out there working on the garden on Thanksgiving Day, and she brings him an empty coffee cup. Okay, and he's working out there, and he tells her, you know, for you it's Thanksgiving, for me it's just Thursday. You know, whatever. Okay, she asks him why he doesn't believe in marriage. And the reason she wants to know that is because Seema is her best friend now. And Seema told her at the bridal show that she's upset that Adam does not believe in marriage because that means that he's never ever going to ask Seema to marry him. Okay? And that hurts her feelings, despite the fact that she fucking pretty much hates men, okay, and would never marry anybody because no man's ever going to be good enough for her, despite the fact she's an ugly fucking chain-smoking alcoholic pig, okay, who's about to stretch out of those fucking tight clothes that she wears, okay? And she thinks she's all that. She thinks she's a fucking 10 when she's a solid 2, okay? And she's 60 fucking years old, okay? She can't even offer him any kids. She's too fucking old, okay? But she thinks she's a 10, and then she has this epiphany while talking to Carrie that she actually never wanted to get married. She's never ever wanted to take on the responsibilities of being a fucking wife, okay? She never wanted to take on those duties. She never wanted to be a mom. She never wanted to live happily ever after with a man that she loves for the rest of her life and eventually become a grandma or anything like that, raise a family. That's just what she was brainwashed into thinking by her family and the patriarchy. You see what I mean? But she did want a wedding, though. She definitely wanted the wedding. She wanted to wear the beautiful wedding dress and have all the people there taking pictures of her, you know, and the honeymoon and the rice throwing. She wanted all that, but she didn't want the fucking marriage. Okay, so she realizes that she actually doesn't want to get married either. She just wants the fucking wedding. All right, so that's going on here. Okay, and Carrie says, like, is Seema just Thursday? You know. Okay, no, she's not. Okay, she's a Halloween. She's a Groundhog Day. And she's the groundhog. Oink, oink. Okay. I'm sorry. Anyway, you know, so Adam says, like, no. She's a yeah, even the actor couldn't get that out, believably, okay? Yeah, so she tells him, so Carrie tells him to change the flowers into something more wild and free, like her. Okay, well, exactly. You see, Carrie, that's why you're fucking single, okay? You want someone to put a ring on it, but yet you still want to be wild and free. Okay. Anyway, you know, wild and free, Carrie, is the opposite of loyal and committed. This show doesn't even know what it wants. Oh my God. Moving right along. Okay, Charlotte. Charlotte is making turkey in the kitchen when Harry tells her that all of a sudden he's hard. Now, we don't see the hard on it. He's just like, I'm hard, honey. And she's like, you are? Just like that, like it's a fucking cartoon. All right. He's like, I'm crisp and ready to baste, baby. Let's not waste this. Come on, hurry, let's go. You know, and so they rush out of the kitchen into the bedroom, and Lily's there. And she's like, what are you guys doing? He's like, oh, we're going to go get thanks, okay? And then they rush into the bedroom, okay? Because if they don't get there in time, he's going to lose his heart on. All right? That's how it works in that. And that's how his physiology works. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Lily smiles as they go off to fuck. So she knows what's going on here. Mom and dad are having sex. All right. So that's going on here. Okay, next scene is, I mean, what do you want me to say about that? It's ridiculous, okay? He had prostate cancer. That was his character arc this season. Yeah, that's the only character arc he's had this entire show. Okay, he had prostate cancer. He got operated on. He survived the operation. He's going to be healthy. He's going to be fine. But he couldn't get a hard-on anymore. So that's what we've been dealing with for the past several episodes. He couldn't get a hard-on. Well, guess what? Out of the blue, he just got a hard-on. There, problem solved. Great. See that emotional roller coaster we were on? You see what I mean? I mean, even Charlotte wasn't bothered by it. Okay? Even she was okay with it. You see, the only one who wasn't okay with it was Harry himself. He was the one that cried about it. Oh, my dick doesn't work. Why is it my dad's dick works, but my dick don't work? You see what I mean? Yeah. He was doing all the crying. She didn't give a shit. All right, next scene. Carrie's at the Jewish pie place again. Okay, where she picks up all these pre-ordered pies. We already saw that episode where she ordered these pies. You know, and the owner of the pie store gives Carrie a special treatment there. Okay, so we saw that. Carrie, of course, is dressed ridiculously. Okay, she's wearing a sequins fluffy dress with a tulle skirt. Okay, do I look like the kind of fucking guy who knows what a tulle skirt is? I don't. Okay, I had to look that fucking up. Okay, thank you very much. All right, she's wearing a tulle skirt, and the color that she's wearing, I was going to say red, but I had to look that up too because I'm not fucking gay. Apparently, she's wearing a color called fuchsia. Okay, I don't even fucking know how to spell that. Okay, fuchsia is what she's wearing. Okay, a fuchsia fucking dress. Okay, fluffy fucking skirt dress. Okay, with a fucking pink fuchsia beret. Okay, and a goddamn checker fucking jacket on top of that. I mean, it's a cross between Tinkerbell, Cinderella, and fucking Paul Bunyan. Okay, it looks fucking ridiculous, all right? But of course, no one ever tells Carrie that she looks ridiculous on Sex and the City or on this show. She just walks around in these ridiculous outfits like fucking, like goddamn fucking, like Pennywise the dancing fucking clown from It, and nobody looks at her funny. Nobody goes like, what the hell are you wearing? Nobody ever does anything like that. Nobody ever calls her out on her fashion. Nobody ever goes up to her. No guy or woman goes up to her and says like, why are you wearing that? You look ridiculous. No one ever says that on the show. She just walks around with her fucking strawberry shortcake hat, okay, you know, or her goddamn dishwashing gloves, you know, in public, and nobody ever says shit. Okay, we just have to go with it, all right? It's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, so that's going on here. Okay, yeah, she looks like a 60-year-old extra from the fucking Hunger Games. That's what she looks like to me. Anyway, she goes to a different, she goes to all the different characters' houses to drop off pies. Okay, so she goes to Charlotte's place, okay, and then she runs into Lily there. She drops off the pie with Lily, and Lily says, I'm sorry, my mom can't come to the door because she's getting fucked out like an application by Dad. So, of course, you know, this tells Carrie that Harry's impotence problem is now gone. It's not an issue anymore. So Carrie's actually happy. So she runs out to the cab that's waiting outside. All right. And then she goes over to Lisa's place, okay, and drops off Lisa's pie. Lisa invites her in. She's like, no, can't go. Sorry, cab is waiting. Bye. So she fucking leaves too. All right, then she goes to Seema. Now, Seema is getting out of her car. Okay, she's been driven around by her driver. How did she get her driver back? We don't fucking know. Okay, because she didn't have any fucking money. She tried to get a loan a few episodes ago to start up her own business, and she got denied. Okay, but yet for some reason, 2 episodes later, she opened up her own office, complete with fucking secretaries and assistants and other employees in this beautiful fucking luxury office, and she's doing very well, and she got her driver back just like that. No explanation where she got the money for all this. All right, so that's going on here. Anyway, she gets out of her fucking her car, okay, her Mercedes that her driver, what's his name, Rocco, drives her around, and she's wearing jeans, and of course, fucking Carrie has to point out, oh, you're wearing jeans, you know, like that's a big fucking deal, and she gives Seema the pie. Okay, and then Carrie goes off again. All right, you notice it's kind of sad that she has no one to spend Thanksgiving with, so she has to like try to go to places where people already got their own Thanksgiving going on. You see what I mean? This is what I'm talking about, being how it's this sad. It's like the way you treat a widow. And I know she's a widow, okay, but she's fucking blown off all these other guys because she'd rather be alone. That's what she tells us, but nobody would rather be alone. Okay? People that are alone for the rest of their lives that are happy like that, they're alone because they want to be, because they like it better. Okay? And for the most part, they've been that way their whole lives. They just don't like being around people. They don't like sharing their life. But there's very few people like that. Most of us need somebody. All right? And Carrie is the textbook poster girl of a woman that needs a man. Okay? The whole show was based on that. Sex and the City was based on how much she needed a man. Okay? So it's not in character for her to not need somebody. Or for somebody to not need her. You see? Okay. So that's going on here. Okay. And then Anthony, she goes to Anthony's place. And she gives him a chocolate cream pie. You get it? You get the double entendre here, a chocolate cream pie, you know, because him and Giuseppe, that's where they have sex, okay, in the ass. It's a chocolate cream pie. Get it? Yeah. Right in your face. Anyway, so Carrie arrives at Miranda's place, okay, and Miranda tells her that Joy, her girlfriend, cannot make it because her dog is sick. Ooh. And Joy cares more about her dogs. Okay, not just because they're both canines, but because she has more in common with her four-legged friends than she does with human beings. Okay, now the problem with that is that Miranda cares more about Joy than she does about her own fucking family. Okay, and her friends as well. So for her, it's devastating. If Joy's not happy, Miranda's not happy. She has to make Joy happy so that she can be happy. You see what I mean? Okay, Miranda became when Miranda became a lesbian, she became very, very passive. Okay, very, I need to be led. And now when she was straight, okay, she was the boss. She told the men what to do. Okay, if they didn't meet her standards, get the fuck out. She treated Steve like shit. She made all the decisions. Okay, she was the boss bitch. But as soon as she became a lesbian, she became very passive and let the woman dominate her. You see what I mean? Complete shift in personality. All right. So that's going on here. Turns out Brady is cooking Thanksgiving dinner. Brady tells her that our guest list dropped from 13 guests to 6. So they're going to have plenty of mashed potatoes left over for her to take home. Okay? You know, don't you, and I'm thinking to myself, no, you're not talking about your guest list. You're talking about your fucking ratings. Okay? Because nobody's watching the show. They have less than half the viewers in this season than they did in the first season. Okay? You've lost the fans. Okay? Nobody's watching this shit anymore. That's why it's getting canceled. All right? So that's going on here. Okay, Miranda thinks Joy is lying about her dog being sick and that she just didn't want to come to Thanksgiving. And the reason she doesn't want to show up is because she was there last episode and she saw Brady yell at Miranda right in front of her. Okay, and so she doesn't want anything like to be in the middle of anything like that again. Okay, so that's what Miranda's thinking. And Carrie goes like, well, just call her then. Just call her. Okay? And so Miranda's like, okay, I'll call her. Whatever. Well, guess what? She calls Joy, and turns out that Sappho, that's one of her dogs. That's one of Joy's dogs, Sappho. The other one is named Socrates. Yes, you have to have a fucking gender study degree to fucking know what those names mean. Anyway, it turns out Sappho swallowed something sharp. And so they're in the veterinarian's office right now, and Sappho's going to have to get operated on. Okay, so of course Joy's losing her shit. Miranda decides to go to the vet to go comfort Joy while she's suffering through this. Okay, hence she's going to abandon her own fucking Thanksgiving dinner party. Okay, but she says she'll be back in an hour. Okay, yeah. So that's going on. So she leaves. Okay, and because the dogs, okay, are all that Joy has are her dogs, okay? Once again, single, alone, and old, you're gonna die by yourself with cats or with dogs, like Carrie, or with dogs, like Joy, okay? No spouse, no kids, just career and dogs, yes. And on this show, that's a good thing. Okay, next scene, Carrie sets down the expensive cheese hors d'oeuvres. Okay, and she greets the guests at the door. This is when Mia shows up. Now, Mia is the fat, ugly, disgusting Ben Stiller daughter, okay, that Brady knocked up, okay? And she brought her 2 fucking gay friends with her because straight people cannot have straight friends on the show. They have to have gay friends, okay? In case you haven't noticed, everyone in New York is gay or is best friends with gay people or trans people or some shit like that from the fucking alphabet community, okay? Those are the only kind of normal people there are in New York. You can't have a straight woman with straight friends, okay? And why the fuck does she invite her friends to goddamn Thanksgiving, okay? Like, what the fuck? That's an American holiday, okay? And there's one thing libtards hate, it's fucking America, so why would they want to celebrate Thanksgiving anyway? Anyway, moving right along. So she shows up there with 2 gays, Okay, one of them is like a trans thing. I think it is either that or it's a really ugly girl. Okay, it's a trans Jewish thing named Epcot. Yes, after the Disney World. Okay, and the other one is named Silvio, who is just flaming fucking homosexual dude. Okay, he's just like, just like, I'm not even trying to hide it. Okay, he's just fucking flamboyantly fucking fag all the fucking way. All right, reminded me of my namesake on the show, Diego, the one that Lily's boyfriend Diego, who was also like that. And we were supposed to believe that him and Lily were in love. Are you out of your fucking mind? Anyway, no, just complete flamer because that's the type of people that are on this show. Okay, friends, of course. Okay, no girl can have only straight friends on this show, obviously. Okay, so that's going on here. Turns out that Epcot, the Jewish trans thing, I think it's a trans thing. It might actually be a very ugly woman. I'm not sure. All right, turns out that Epcot is lactose intolerant. Okay, and Silvio looks at Brady. Okay, basically Ronald McDonald without the fucking makeup, and says like, oh, he's a ginger. Oh no, girl, bye. Like that, okay? Like the queer that he is, all right? And he nicknames Brady Strawberry Shortcake. When he's trying to be nice to him, like, can I get you something to drink? You give me something to eat there, Strawberry Shortcake. Like that. Okay? Like, what the fuck? You know how many fucking adjectives I could use on you, you goddamn fucking fag? And you're gonna over here, the first thing you're gonna do is insult this guy? What the fuck? Anyway, why is it only that the gay people can insult straights, but straights can't insult gays? Are you out of your friggin' mind? Okay, where's the justification in that? All right, anyway. So her gay friends, okay, make her dating decisions for her. Obviously, that's why she hooked up with Brady. Okay, Brady offers pregnant Mia some wine, which was really stupid. Okay, and Mia tells Brady that she only eats cucumbers, brown rice, and seaweed. That's all she eats, And Brady tells her, well, I don't have any of that here. And she says, like, oh, well, nobody asked me. Okay, so that's on you. You see what I mean? Okay. So it's his fault for not asking her what she wanted to eat for Thanksgiving. Okay. At this moment, Mark Kasabian shows up. Now, Mark Kasabian is played by the gay actor Victor Garber, who is playing a straight guy on this show. Mark Kasabian is a straight guy. He's been married 3 times. Okay. He owns the gallery where Charlotte works. Now, what the hell is he doing at this party? Okay. He wasn't invited. All right. Like I said, he's an ancillary character. Okay. And he arrives with a bottle of wine. Okay. And the first thing he asks Carrie when she opens the door for him, was Charlotte here? And she's like, no, Charlotte's not going to make it. Her husband, Harry, didn't want to come to this party. He's like, oh, well, she told me that she would be here. The doorman let me in. He does not see me as a threat. So, I guess since she won't be here, I'll be here and you'll be here. Like that, okay? Like, what the fuck? Because Carrie is having none of it, okay? I'm sorry. Victor Garber is fucking 76 years old, okay? And for Carrie, who's 60 years old, that's too old for her. All right? So that's going on here. She's not attracted to him at all, okay? So Charlotte invited him, so Brady tells Carrie and Mark that he needs to run to the store in order to buy some seaweed, some cucumbers, and some brown rice. And to watch the turkey in the oven, and he'll be back soon. So he rushes off to do that, okay? All right, the Zoomers, they decide to insult Mark, because these fucking, Zoomers that are just, they just see this old man there. They just start making fun of him, okay? And Epcot starts eating the cheese, despite the fact that she told everybody she's lactose intolerant. She starts eating the cheese, okay? And Mark is not happy with these young Zoomers here, okay? And he's like, the libtards in my day, we didn't act this way, okay? And when I was young, a young libtard like you guys, I was doing fucking Godspell, okay? That's musical theater, where I was pretending to be Jesus Christ with a fucking red afro, suspenders, and a fucking Superman t-shirt on, okay? Pretending to be Jesus while a bunch of fucking hippies were spray painting wagons and shit, singing day by day. way. Oh, sweet Lord, these things I pray. Yeah, that one. Okay, that's what Victor Garber was doing when he was their age. Look it up. Look up Godspell. Look at that motherfucker in that. He's wearing fucking like eyeliner and shit. Yeah, that's when he was young though. Now he's just an old fart. Okay, so anyway, he's there. Okay. I'm sorry. It's just ridiculous. Okay, next scene. Miranda shows up at the Bond veterinary clinic, and there's Joy. She's the only customer there, sitting by herself. Where's the other dog? Where's Socrates? We don't know. She's just sitting there crying, feeling sorry for herself while her dog's in surgery. Okay, she tells Miranda that the doctor said that Sappho should be okay, but Joy, what Joy is really upset about is not that Sappho almost died. What she's really upset about is they made her at the veterinary clinic. They made her sign a liability waiver. She's pissed off that if the dog dies of surgery, she can't sue them. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's real love right there. Okay, so yeah, well, it turns out that Sappho didn't eat something sharp. He ate a Lego. And she tells Miranda, that's the reason I hate kids. Okay. Okay, and that's pretty much the end of that storyline there. Let's see here. A lonely, disgusting, pathetic, pale lesbo ginger who loves dogs more than she loves people ends up with a lonely, disgusting, pathetic, pale lesbo ginger whose adult son lives with her. Okay, and that's the love story they expect us to buy. That's the shit sandwich they want us to eat. Okay, all right. Speaking of shit, we'll talk about that in the next episode. All right, the literal shit, not the metaphorical one. Okay, I'm worked up now, okay? I will be back to continue my review of And Just Like Crap. Thank you for watching this long, and I'll see you soon on the next one. Bye.